What's up YouTube? This is Dominic from the Primetime Treasure eBay store. As you can see behind me, it is cold and snowy in Syracuse, New York. When I woke up this morning, it was negative 20 degrees. Some areas it was negative 40 degrees, so it would have been very, very easy for me to stay in, sleep in, stay warm, and not get there early to that estate sale. But I was one of the first people there, and I'm glad I got there early because most people decided to stay in, and so I pretty much had free reign of the house to pick up a lot of great items. And so what I decided to do was my first haul video with you. So I'm gonna go over some of the items that I picked up today and hopefully teach you a few things. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. And let me show you some of the stuff that I found. So one of the first things that I found today I immediately picked up is one of these Peter figure ends. Now these were manufactured in Korea by the crazy guys. They were very popular in the early 1980s, mid 1980s. People would hang them on their door by this little slot in the back, and they're easily identifiable by this little circular sticker on the back that says Peter figure end on it, and there you can see the manufacturing information on this yellow sticker down below. Get very easy to identify. They all have this kind of ugly, distorted facial feature with kind of weird nappy hair. A lot of them have hats or head scarves and sort of thing. And there'll be a little slot in here that would fit a C battery, and when you put it in there and pull down on the string, usually something is going to happen with this if it works. So typically the eyelids would flutter up and down. If there was a tongue, the tongue might stick in and out. There's actually one of an old hag woman that shoots water out at the person who pulls it down, and so that was a very popular one. If you could find that one goes for $150, $160 easily if it's in working condition. But even if these are not in working condition, you should still pick it up because they will still sell. People still like to get them, hang them up, remind themselves of the 1980s. One of these that was listed, this particular one, this exact one that was listed over the last 60 days on eBay, sold for $50, $60, and it was stated in the description that it was unclear whether or not it worked. So they will still sell, so still pick them up. I actually have one of these Peter figure ends in my own collection. I picked it up many, many years ago at a flea market and I still held on to it. This is the old hag woman. It's a different old hag, and she has this little headscarf, and basically when you pull down on it, what will happen is the tongue will go in and out, the eyelids will flutter up and down, and once in a while she'll make a noise. It's kind of like a cackling or a laughing noise. I'll kind of just let this run for a moment just to see if the noise occurs so you could hear it. But again, you could still get the point that it makes some type of motion and sometimes makes a noise. While that's kind of running on the side, I'll show you another kind of animatronic item that I got, which is this Furby. This was found at the bottom of a drawer that was closed, so always check the drawers because you never know what you're going to find in them. I'm going to shove her up. Oh, there you go. She's laughing now. She just laughed if you heard that. So, and sometimes she'll just do that repeatedly. It just kind of depends. So that's that item. This is the Furby item. Again, found in a drawer that was closed. No one else was looking in it. This one just moves by just pressing this little button down here. Goes up and down. Takes a couple AA batteries. And makes a couple noises. Makes a couple movements. This will go for about $20 outside of the box. You can see it still does have the tag on it, and it's a limited edition. If it was in the box, that would pretty much double the value, and it would go up to around $40. These limited edition ones are the ones you want to look for. There are other types of Furbies called the Furby Buddies, which generally don't sell for much. You get those for about, you sell them maybe for about $8, $10 on eBay. But these are the ones that you really want to get, these bigger signature edition ones. Some other items I got. This was a nice item. This was in a bar area. So this is a nice vintage mixer. As you can see here, it has 12 different cocktail recipes on it. This is about a $30 item usually. I mean, there's actually one exactly like this listed on eBay for $75 that has 5 watches. I don't think it will sell for that much, but still, if you could get it cheap, you know, I got this for $1. This is an easy $30 sale. Another thing you want to look for, and I picked this up as soon as I found it, is vintage lanterns. The red and green lanterns tend to sell well. Particularly if you could find the old Coleman lanterns, try to make sure that the bulb is still there. This particular one is not a Coleman lantern, but it says winged wheel on it. So this would be, again, you know, about $20 piece in this type of condition. So again, look for the red ones, look for the green ones. Lanterns are good sellers as long as they're vintage. Another item that I found was this metal tin, and this metal tin is from Germany, and you just see that by, you can zoom in on the bottom. It might be hard to see in the video depending on the lighting, but right here it does say that it is made in Germany. So things made in other countries, people like to have these little tins or anything that's made in another country, particularly if it's not China though. And not something that's mass produced, but something vintage that's made from another country. People like to have those. This is probably about $20 tin, very light, very easy to ship, should still go first class mail. Another thing that was pretty vintage that I found there were these items. I'm just gonna lay them out here for a moment so you can see these. These are wall hanging items. They are vintage, either ceramic, kind of a chalkware type of feel to it, but these go together as a little set. And what you would look for here is, if you zoom in, you can see here it does say the date. These are from 1966, and it does have the name of the company, which is Sexton. So these particular items that were made by Sexton, these are going to go anywhere from the $20, $30 range. And if you have more items that you could piece together, like the boy, the girl, and then you have the dog to kind of put in between, that's kind of a nice little package that should increase your value. Another thing that I found that is a wall hanging item, and sometimes, you know, some of these things I purchase, I try to purchase most of them based on, you know, looking up completed solds and getting good comps on them. But sometimes you just got to wing it. If you see something strange, you see something unusual, you see something unique, and you could get it for a good price, pick it up, particularly if it's in a content area that you think people are interested in. And so this would be one example of something like that. This is just something nice, bright colors. There are people that are really into giraffes. They love giraffes. You know, it's pretty cool. It says gentle giraffe. Again, it has those nice bright colors. Very light. Hangs up nicely on the wall, or you could put a little sticky on the back so you want to stick it to the wall. So, you know, that could go for, again, $15, $20. If you could pick it up cheap, get something like that. Here's another kind of example like that. You're looking for things that are in vintage type boxes, and this is a toilet tissue holder. Now, I'm not exactly sure what this is going to wind up selling for, but because it is complete, it has the screws, has everything in it that you would need, and it has this vintage original box, I think this is going to bring in some good value when I post it online for sale here. So look for these vintagey looking items, housewares in the original boxes. A good tip off on those, besides just looking at the general look of the box to tell that it's vintage, is look for things that don't have a clearly identifiable UPC code on them. That'll be a little giveaway that it's you know, it's a pretty vintage piece. Another item that I got here, and again, this is just kind of winging it. This is a JFK and Jackie Onassis 8x10. Some of these go for a lot of money, depending on which one you have. The chances that you're going to look it up at the sales site and find the exact one is pretty low. But if you could find one that just kind of, you know, gives you a good feel that it, you know, looks like something people will be interested in, pick it up, especially if you could just get it for $1 or $2. Chances are, you know, it's going to sell, you know, even if you want to take it outside of the frame, but, you know, keeping it in the frame will definitely help it sell a little bit better. So that was a good item. My favorite item, though, that I got today was this one. This is a Peel's beer wall hanging item that actually has an old calendar from 1969. The funny little story about this particular item that I got today, this was actually fastened to a wall like this, and it was stuck against the wall. If you tried to pull it, it was not coming off, and there was no clearly identifiable way of how it was actually fastened to the wall. So there weren't any screws that you could see that you could take out. But that's why you have to come prepared with all sorts of different types of tools to pry things off of walls. And this is something I've done many times at estate sales and garage sales to get some really good items that have been there for a long time. And so one of the things you want to keep with you is a chisel. So I took this chisel, I just went right underneath it, popped it right up, came out really easily because the only way that it was fastened was by these little sticky areas back here. But again, just using the chisel, popped it off. You have to be gentle so you don't break it. But some of these Peels items could go for hundreds of dollars, so this still has many days left in the calendar from 1969, has the year 1951 down there. Again, it's a really beautiful, great vintage piece, and just do a little bit extra work, come prepared, and you can get some great items like these. And one last item that I want to go over with you, actually it's several items that are kind of linked together. This, again, just tells another lesson about what to do when you're going to estate sales and where to look. I told you about this Furby that I found that was in a drawer, in a bottom drawer that I opened up. Many people overlook those types of things, but this next item I'm going to tell you about was in a cupboard in a basement, and it was buried in the back along with many others of them, and that's this. This is a vintage Dynamo detergent pouring cup. Now, a lot of people would just walk right by this and never pick this up. But if you look at the completed solds on eBay, what you're gonna find is this cup actually sold for $10 recently. And there's no other one like it right now that's currently up, so might sell for a little bit more than that, might sell for $14.99, might sell for $19.99. Super, super light, probably just a couple of ounces. And I kept looking and I found another one that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So at a minimum of $10 each, that's $140. All of these purchased for $1. In fact, almost all the items that you see here today were purchased for $1. I think the only thing that was more than that was this mixer, which was $2. So, by the way, one other thing about these is that these were not all found in one place. They were kind of scattered throughout in different sorts of cupboards, but I just cobbled them all together and just bought them in one lot for, like I said, $1. So that's the end of the haul video. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned some things. If you did like it, please hit that like button down below. In the description section, you will see a link to the Primetime Treasure eBay store. I'm probably going to list some of these items today, but if there's a particular item that you like, please let me know in the comments section, and I will list some of these things early. Also, please make sure you subscribe to this channel if you like these videos. If you want to see more haul videos, I'll be happy to do them. Just let me know. And with that, have a nice, warm, safe weekend. Thank you, everybody.